He doesn't want any man getting close to you because he's afraid he will lose his position in your heart forever. You do not understand why he suddenly started calling more often. For months, he barely had time for you. Every conversation felt forced. Every message felt cold. Whenever you tried to talk about the problems in the relationship, he would tell you that you are overthinking. You spent many nights feeling alone while still being with him. Then something changed. The moment he noticed that another man was beginning to notice you, his behavior became completely different. One evening, you posted a simple picture online, nothing special, just a picture of yourself smiling after a long day. Within minutes, your phone started receiving comments and reactions from friends. Later that night, his call came in. Who is that guy commenting on your picture? He asked. You were surprised. What guy? You replied. The one who wrote that you are looking beautiful. You laughed because it seems harmless. He's just a friend. But he was not laughing for the first time in a long time. He sounded worried. Over the following weeks, it became worse. The same man who ignored your messages suddenly wanted to know where you were. The same man who never cared about your day suddenly wanted to know every detail of your life. One afternoon, you met a friend for coffee. Nothing romantic, nothing sacred, just a normal meeting. When he found out, he became upset. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. I don't know, I needed permission to have coffee with a friend. His voice became defensive. I'm just asking. But you knew it was more than that. The truth finally became clear. He was afraid, not because you had done something wrong, not because another man had taken you away. He was afraid because he could feel himself losing his place in your heart. Months earlier, you could you could have done anything to keep the relationship alive. You were the one calling, you were the one apologizing for arguments you did not start. You were the one trying to fix problem he refused to acknowledge. But something inside you had changed. The constant disappointment had exhausted you. The endless waiting has drained you. The feeling of never being important enough had slowly pushed you towards acceptance. You were no longer begging for attention. You were no longer chasing someone who kept running away. You were learning how to live your life again without him. And he noticed one evening he met his friends. As they started, as they, as they stayed together talking, one of them asked a simple question. What is going on with you lately? What do you mean? He replied, you look stressed all the time. He stayed silent. Another friend laughed. You are acting like someone is about to steal your girlfriend away from you. The room became more quiet. Then he spoke words he never thought he would say. I think I'm losing her. His friends stared at him. One of them shook his head. How? She has been there through all the difficult times and through everything. He looked down. I know. Then what's the problem? For several minutes he could not answer. Finally he spoke. I think she's tired. Those words hit him harder than anything else in the room because deep inside he knew they were true. You were tired of feeling ignored, tired of feeling unappreciated, tired of carrying the relationship by yourself. For the first time, he realized that love has limits. Even the most patient heart can grow tired. Even the most strongest love can be wounded. Days later, he called you again. This time, his voice sounded different. There was no arrogance, no pride, only fear. Can we talk? He asked. You agreed. When you met, he looked nervous. He struggled to find the right words. Then he finally said what had been bothering him for a very long time. I don't want to lose you. You looked at him quietly. The strange thing was that months ago, those words would have made you cry with happiness. Now they simply made you listen. He noticed the difference immediately. You were no longer hanging on every word he said. You were no longer desperate for his approval. You were calm, and that scared him more than anything because he realized something important. The biggest threat was not another man, the biggest threat was your healing. The stronger you became, the less control his neglect had over your emotions. The happier you became, the less power his attention had over your heart. For the first time, he understood what he was truly afraid of. He was afraid that one day a man would come into your life and give you everything he had failed to give: respect, attention, honesty, consistency. And if that happened, he knew he would become a memory instead of a priority. By the time he finally understood your value, you had already started discovering your own. That was the lesson he learned too late. He cannot ignore someone You cannot ignore someone for years and expect them to stay exactly the same way. You cannot starve a heart of love and then become surprised when it stops waiting. As he stayed as he stayed there looking at you, fear filling his eyes, he finally understood the truth. He was not afraid of another man. He was afraid that the woman he once took for granted has finally realized how much she deserved. And once a person discovers their worth, they rarely settle for less again. He thought you will always wait for him. Now he's terrified that someone else will give you the love and the respect he never did. A powerful and emotional turn for those who do not appreciate what they have until it is gone. Do not realize it too late. Love you. Stay tuned and continue watching. Subscribe, click on the notification button, and know that I cherish you and I love you dearly.